Ready, 6:30 on time. We'll call the meeting to order. First on the agenda is the minutes, and I've been told there is an error in these minutes on the
Oh, dear
last
me.
page. And it should say for the environmental by Mr. Russo, March 28th. We're going to consider it a typo.
What is it?
March 28th. Under liaison reports from Mr. Russo.
Oh, did I put March 26th?
Yep,
Oh, maybe that's what I thought he said, but it's March 28th.
March
Okay.
28th.
Okay, Mr. Russo.
And actually, before I go to the approval of the minutes, now that we have that correction, our liaison, Mr. Russo, needs to leave early. So if I have permission from our committee members, could we slip them in between the old business and new business, any other business, that he can have his little thing done so he can go to his next meeting? Thank you. I appreciate that. Having that established, now we can go to approval of the minutes of January 14th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for January 14th.
Okay, we have motion on the floor from Nancy, and is there a second? So we have a second, all right, and any discussion? Hearing none. Approval of the minutes, say aye. Any nays? Any abstentions? Okay, thank you. Recognition of guests. We have a room full tonight. This is for our records so that Jerry knows who you are. Could you just state your name?
Sure. Cosmo Crignano, president of the Board of Trustees at the Cape.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Mike Everett. Nice to meet you.
And I'm Wayne Hart. I'm treasurer.
All right. And Brett, I think we know who Brett is.
Okay, all right.
And any other guests who would like to be recognized on the floor so that we can have you in the minutes? If you don't have to, it's not mandatory. Okay, moving on. Correspondence.
So in your packet, there's a quite large correspondence. We've seen most of these correspondences before, but I just wanted to let you know that Rob had reached out and wrote a letter to Mr. Terraccio concerning some of his concerns, and that's going to be the second to last page. I just put all the responses in there so we are all aware of what they were. So Rob wrote a letter to him, and then Mr. Terraccio on the very last page responded to him, and that's really the correspondence for tonight. So
Did you cross check me?
now he's waiting for the commission to respond.
Yes, and I have to thank Rob for stepping up. I was not well for the last few weeks, several weeks actually, once. And he stepped up to do this, and just for the record, Rob is our vice chair. And I appreciate that, and I appreciate the other commission members who tried to reach out and talk and give their response on this as well. So thank you for stepping up on that. I really do appreciate it. As a chairman that's coming back into full force now. Welcome. Review of bills. My question under Connecticut Water, the last page, that's a quarterly thing, right? The $5,065.
Yeah, they're just,
Okay,
it was paid. Oh, it's gonna stick it.
Yeah.
Essentially from the summer. Their cycles are a little odd, we get the bills, because their quarters are, just don't run with our seasons.
no, I agree. I understand.
We use enough money in the mini golf budget to get you through the fiscal year for the payroll that's happening.
For the what is happening? Sure.
Huh?
Did you say something's happening on Main Street?
No, for the payroll that they're gonna have in May and June for the fiscal year and do it's a good ton of money.
I'll figure it out.
Sure, it is.
Any other questions from members? Hearing none, we'll move along to public comments. Is there anyone from the public who would like to make a comment? And looking up on the screen, none online? Okay, we'll move that. And our favorite, Brett, you're up, take presentation.
You switching somebody with me though?
No, you're going right now, buddy.
Oh, okay, great. Okay, where do you?
Force fun, you're on the spot.
Where am I? Okay, I don't have advanced the.
So on the TV here, I'm sharing my screen, so hopefully this is Brett's presentation of what he's gonna talk about, and I'm gonna turn it over to him, and I'll try to get each slide. Brett, you just tell me when.
I'll just tell you in. Cool. All right. Well, thank you for having me here this evening. The Cape and the town have been sharing a lot more about this overall project and its impact recently. So there have been, I think I'm behind here. So sorry, I don't worry.
That's okay, that's all right.
Many commission meetings ahead. We're fully aware of that before this project can potentially become a reality. So I really appreciate you having me. So on behalf of the Cape and the town, I'm pleased to provide information and visuals about the proposed expansion of 300 Main Street. You can go to the second slide, I think. This edition of the Town Hall campus was developed over several years of thoughtful planning by Cape staff and our board of trustees. And in the last 2 years, also town leaders and stakeholders. I'd like to spend just a moment to explain a little bit about the why or the how we determined we wanted to work towards this expansion. Of course, I'm happy to answer any questions along the way as well. So the Cape stands at a really pivotal moment. Well, we continue the great success we've had over the last 16 years. Audience growth and expanded programming has been exceedingly limited by physical space. The historic building is owned, of course, by the town of Old Saybrook that houses the Cape, and has been pushed quite beyond capacity as the organization's offerings continue to grow. Since our opening in 2009, the Cape's 285-seat theater has been filled with meaningful, high-quality, sold-out performances and experiences. Approximately 650,000 patrons and visitors have come through our doors. They've either seen one of our 3,800 events that we've offered. They visited the Katharine Hepburn Museum. They've seen a student matinee. They've been a camper in one of our camps programs. And that camp program is now in its 14th. You can go to the next slide. These are slides that I created for the Monday night programs. So some of you have already seen them, and I'm kind of using them as references as I can.
Yeah.
Beyond the success of the Cape as a cultural nonprofit, we've been able to contribute back to the community in a significant way. In addition to improving the quality of life in Old Saybrook, we are an economic driver for businesses in town. Last year alone, patrons and visitors numbered 80,000, which is the number you see at the top there. And according to economic data published by Americans for the Arts, in their most recent survey, they do this survey about every 2 years. Attendees at nonprofit arts and cultural events spend on average $38.46 per person beyond the cost of admission. So taking a look at that and thinking about last year, that's the potential of up to $3 million that the Cape put back on Main Street by people coming to this town. Not on this slide is that nearly 90% of our audience comes from outside of Old Saybrook proper, just to let you know who's coming here. And if you take that over the life of the Cape, it's about $25 million given inflation and all the different pieces and ticket growth. That first chart there was also our ticket growth over the years. And you can see the pandemic, and the story I've been telling with that is how strong we came back from the pandemic and got restaurants full again and things. So at this time, the Cape is increasingly limited by our ability to serve our patrons with diverse offerings. And there is an opportunity cost of those limitations where we must choose one performance over a community partnership or another because we simply don't have the space. So for example, the Old Saybrook Historical Society, we do several lectures with them a year, but it's really limited by 2 because we don't have space to do more. Cultural enrichment programs like our music workshops and painting classes fill up quickly, and we'd like to do more, but we don't have the adequate space for that. And our summer camp program, which has a lengthy wait list, this past summer we had over 100 families on our wait list for our camps program, already operates out of both the Cape and Old Saybrook Middle School. So our ability to grow and serve the next age group, 11 to 17-year-olds, is also incredibly limited. On a practical note, we desperately need more offices. We need an elevator to stage level. Everything is carried up there. And last year there were 380 shows. We need more restrooms. And the official Catherine Hepburn Museum, we would love to grow a bit, as that has been a huge area of growth. Go to the next slide. I'm just going to sort of reference this as I go. So this expansion that I'm going to show you in just a moment, so you can see the visuals, it's a 7,200 square foot addition to the Cape, 300 square feet on each of the 2 floors. It improves on nearly all of the pain points that I just mentioned. The heart of the expansion is a flexible, our flexible multi-use rooms, and the second floor 2 rooms combine into a well-equipped second event space for acoustic concerts, lectures, dance, unique performances, and more. The space will serve our long-term needs and our education programs and our performances. We also increase infrastructure with the elevator to the stage level, as I mentioned, more restrooms, and it really serves us for a lot of years to come. We also want to acknowledge the need for contiguous space. That has been a question we've got a lot, but if we had space across the town, the split on administrative costs and the inflation of overhead really does not practical. So as you can see from this slide, these are our 6 main points of our plan. I kind of just touched on them and what I just said, but those are the things we're focused on. And then maybe we can go to the next. We put incredible work into what the future of the Cape and program growth could look like. We anticipate and have tentative calendars to show a 35% increase in patrons, 50 to 75% increase in youth and education participants. The expansion will also allow the Cape to reach its full potential as a comprehensive cultural arts center and support the town's most recent plan of conservation and development goals for cultural resources. This slide does illustrate some of those specific benefits of the expanded space, covers the how the space might be used, when the space might be used, and who might use that space, and who we're hoping to attract. I think a couple of things I just wanted to point out on there. There's a lot of trade-offs in our world right now. And for example, on performance growth, talkbacks and master classes, we simply can't do those because when a Metropolitan Opera ends on a Saturday afternoon, we're shepherding those people out as fast as we can because the band's already coming in the back door. But there's people that would love to stay for a talkback and we can move into another space. We all also on that third column, just a couple of quick things to point out. Even though we'd be increasing events over the course of the year, they'd be multiple events with staggered start times. So if the new space had an event, it might be 7 o'clock, while the main theater is 8. So it doesn't essentially change the traffic flow in town. And then yes, community and town space availability as well when we don't have programming in those spaces. I know there's a lot of questions around that with potential other changes in town. So I get to show you this space if you can go to the next one. So this is the current footprint of the Cates building, Main Street to the left, Sheffield to the top, Town Hall to the right, and the Town Green to the bottom. And if you take the next slide, you can see where the expansion would potentially be positioned. It does affect up to 3 to 4 parking spots. That is a conversation that will be ongoing with zoning, but it doesn't encroach into the Town Green proper. It's well on the other side of that sidewalk. I did get some specific numbers from the architects. The distance from that sidewalk to the building, while the sidewalk is actually slightly diagonal there, is between 21 and 26 feet. So thinking about things that happen on the Town Green, like the art show, minimal impact. I've been on the chamber board for the last 9 years. I just rotated off. And those tents would all be fine with the exception of that walkway to 2 tents that would need to be relocated. Concerts on the Green, we're a supporter of those. We're a sponsor of concert each year. Don't see it impacting that in a great way. Starlight Festival, same, we're a partner on that. I did include the pictures on the right side just to leave up there for you so you can kind of see what's in that red boxed section in terms of what I mean by those flexible spaces. That picture on the top is the first level, 2 classroom spaces. That center wall is an operable partition, so that can be one larger room. Similar thing on the upstairs. I'm showing 2 formats of that. One where it's divided and one where it's the 90-seat performance space for lectures. So it's a flexible space and use it in a lot of different ways. Let's see. Before we get to the renderings quickly, I just did also want to mention we're very interested in how this expansion might support the overall town hall campus initiative around that area. We're looking at potential power on the outside of the building for our gala, but also other events that might be out there, breakouts of that sort. One of the ideas that came up and could be something to be discussed down the road. Parks and Rec does movie nights on Friday, and maybe there can be the mounting screen on the side of the building because now it fits over to that side. We're very interested in having those conversations about how this potential expansion serves the entire. So I can show you a few of the renderings. I wanted you to be able to see this as well. So we go to the next slide. It's a view from Main Street. And that area towards the back, right, you can see town hall in the back. You see the historic columns on the front of the building. The new section of the lobby that was added in 2007 and 2009, and then this expansion towards the right. And where you can sort of just click through those, I guess, unless somebody wants to stop. That's just a quicker up close view of that section, the new section from the front. Nighttime view as well. The next one is actually a view from the rear of the building. Coming in the town hall parking lot, essentially, or that direction. This is what one of the classrooms on the first level would look like. And then the last two are what and this is an artist rendering to be full disclosure, on the upstairs space could look like in both two different versions. And so that is the bulk of my presentation. I will say this was a 45-minute presentation 2 Mondays ago with a lot of details. I think really the focus is here was to bring it to you folks because of the sort of movement of it on, into the grass area on that side of the sidewalk. Happy to take questions.
Right, for me, these doors, will they be utilized strictly for this part of the building, or is it? I'm like, are people gonna be walking up and down here to get in?
So to answer that question, if it is an event that is probably a ticketed event, our thought currently is that we'll still funnel them in the main gate doors because the box office as it stands will be reconfigured with 2 windows. And that'll act as the box office for both. But let me give you a different example. Our camps program in the summer, if anyone has been in the town hall parking lot, 9 o'clock in the morning on a camp day, it's a little bit chaotic as 42 campers show up. In this new version, they will all park
Here too.
Yes.
In a future version, they would all park on Main Street and come down that sidewalk to that entrance to the education portion of the building. I will also say inside the first level of that building, there is another set of restrooms. So for our regular shows, as you come down the stairs from the theater, you can turn right and go to the existing restrooms or left to the restrooms in the new section. They'll be available to both. So we've tried to solve a lot of unique problems to keep the integrity of the 110-plus-year-old building that is there by not trying to renovate all of that, but solve those problems elsewhere. Other questions?
There was a figure you went into, it was a 35% increase in patrons.
Yep.
So this is obviously over the year, we're saying 35% increase.
That is correct, and we see that as sort of a 2 to 3 year ramp up as well, because it'll take a little bit of time. That's sort of the vision we work towards.
Okay. Because I know we talked numbers and I asked during that Monday night meeting of capacity, right?
Yep.
Like what we're looking at for a capacity standpoint. So if the Kate houses around 300 people.
Yeah, 284. Yep.
Around 300. And this new facility looks like about equal in size, probably around a max capacity of 300 total.
That would be very high for the new facility. The performance space in the second level in theater configuration would be 90. The lower, we're in actually the capacity question with the architects right now. So the classrooms on the lower level, 25 to 32 is sort of the number. So you're looking at 150 or less is in kind of our current calculation. That might not be the full septic version as we're thinking about it right now, because they're working through what are the maximum capacities that they have to build to, but then they work with the fire marshal to confirm the approved use version.
So let's just say it's 150 over the 280 something. So you're looking at about a 50% capacity increase, right? It's about
At any one given moment, potentially, is that what you're saying?
right.
Yeah.
And then the potential 35% patronage. I'm just trying to put those numbers together. Because potentially it should be more than that eventually, right?
So here's what I'd like, Rand, you could scroll to the bottom. I tossed this slide in here kind of just for you for some of your questions, but I wasn't going to use it.
All the way to the bottom?
But no, go up just a little bit. The one with the calendars there. I'm not anticipating you're going to be able to read this, but I kind of want to show you the level that has gone into this. So let me just talk through it just briefly. And in terms of how I got to the 35%, we've looked at what a week looks like today, and that is the left one. And then in the middle one, we've sort of calculated out based on events that we're already doing or want to do, what a new version could look like. In that last slide, we took everything that was old and put it in light green, everything that was new and put it in dark green, and we ran those comparisons. So we could see at any given moment how many people are in the building. It actually scrolls down by hour as well and sort of graphs that out for us, but we get a 35% increase in actually people coming in, just because we can have another 150 people doesn't mean the way in which we'd be using these facilities would always have that, because while that upstairs room seats 90, if we decided to do a painting class, it might only have 40 in it, even or 30. It's great flexibility to do a lot of different things. So it's been a little hard to calculate a fixed number because every night could be different in that space, different than the current theater that is always set up for 200.
You would be intentional not to stagger it so that if you had 90 people in the new space, that start time would be different than when the full theater.
Yeah, so if, for example, there was a lecture, something great happening, another singer-songwriter talking about all sorts of cool music series up there, that might start at 7. So those 90 people will be there at 7 o'clock, and the 285 people for the theater would arrive for an 8 o'clock show. So in terms of your left-hand turn on Main Street coming from Route 9, really doesn't change because those 90 people are already there, and it's the same 280 people coming for the 8 o'clock show. So I've been thinking a lot about that. There is the parking question. And that is something we're working on with zoning. We've got more Chris at this moment as we prepare for zoning. We have some plans around that too. What?
I was just saying, a lot of the questions I asked during that aren't a Parks and Rec issue, so.
Yes,
not to
yes.
Talk about those.
Yeah, but
I was just doing some math in my head, but just like trying to figure out your 35% to some of your numbers, just so it makes it more I guess transparent as far as cost wise. Like if you're looking at basically a 35%, so about 100 people-ish, and you say about $38 per person they spend in town, right? Yeah.
So that could take it from potentially 3 million to 4.1 million.
Right.
Because it would take it to about 108,000 patrons from 80,000 patrons. Yes,
And
as rough numbers.
that 35% increase would be during a time period outside of like summer, you think? What percentage do you think that would be off-season versus off-season? I mean, outside of summer, here in
So
Saybrook?
I think the 35% increase would sort of go run equally across the year. I do recognize, for example, on a Wednesday night where there's a concert on the green, we may not utilize that space because we don't want to complicate those days any further, for example. So I think those are conversations to have as we go through this process. We want to be the good partner on all those things. But, when I mentioned concerts on the green, Starlight Festival, art show, etc., that makes up about 3% of the days in a year. And the Cape, is open 6 to 7 nights a week, really 365 days a year. So there's a lot of time when it's winter and quiet, when restaurants are thrilled that we have a show because they're full versus
That's my point, yeah.
versus figuring out the 3% where it could be a little bit more challenging.
Like this flex space, if it is more conducive or, outside of, season here outside, having more winter activities that are inside with a multi-purpose room.
Sure.
Where we could keep that $38 per person in Penny Lane and all those little places.
Yeah, American Spirits used to give us 2 numbers. There was an in-town spend versus an out-of-town spend, and they don't do that any longer. And it actually made a bigger difference in our numbers because so many folks come from out of town, which is a great thing because they're coming here to spend their money in our town.
And more importantly, when they're coming for an event like that, they're more conducive to spending money versus coming to use our parks. They're usually bringing a picnic. And then they leave all their garbage. So,
But this is usually in-town dinner and, a shop. I know the Jen from Cottage Flare I was recently talking to, and she was talking about how many people specifically stop in when they're coming to a show here from out of town because they like restoring. Just recently having conversations.
So my concern, dealing with just the news section of the Cape.
Yeah.
When we utilize the green for our summer programs and all the children, and you have programs going on at the Cape, we know there's going to be a parking problem. There's going to be an issue of how do you get from one point to another? And when we're dealing with children, that's a safety issue on my concern. So just looking at this, I'm like going, this is going to be kind of a headache. So we would. it's just an angst on my part, because I'm thinking, how do we get the kids there in our summer programs that utilize the green, the campus, as you call it, town green? And how do we get your programs going, and how do we get the transportation issues?
Are you referring to his camps or our camps?
Our camps for Park and Rec,
Cause
And
we
his
only go out
program
there
there.
for really lunch. We don't really utilize the green.
I would say we've had a pretty good relationship.
Yeah,
Yes,
and we
right.
always talk anyway of what's going on. We usually use the gazebo, literally for
Yeah.
lunch, that's it. So,
Okay.
and his camp uses the town green for their get out of the building time to get some energy out. And they're there,
Your
so,
drop off, so you drop off here.
yeah, our drop off is here.
And the kids would be
And-
probably Main
and
Street.
all right,
So what happened in the past is a lot of the Cape campers would get dropped off here because parents are just confused where they go. So now I think this would be a little bit more defined.
Yeah,
Where they go, truthfully, whether they drop off here
Okay.
at Main Street or in the parking lot, I'm not sure. How Brett communicates that with his campers, but. I think for the actual. Space that we utilize in the green, it's very, very limited that we never use the green except for lunch.
especially that part of the green, I think it's not in your purview anyway for your kids, because they're gonna go out probably this door and go right there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Probably in the
We,
shade.
we literally
Yeah.
go out these doors or the gym doors
Yep.
and utilize McMurray more than.
all right, I was just,
Let's
when you're
say that-
visualizing it and you're looking at different things happening.
I do hear your concern on a Wednesday night concert. That is a conversation to be had. And I think from our side, respectively, we would likely consider not having other activities than like the one concert in the building, you know. So we're not adding capacity on those nights because we recognize parking is already a bit. I mean, that's not to say that there might not be a meeting for 10 people in one of those rooms because our volunteer guild board is meeting or something, but. If that is an issue.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Great presentation, and I didn't go Monday because I was snowed in,
That's
so
okay.
I wanted to go.
That's
So thank
okay.
you
I know we
for
missed several people because.
that. So, and you may have touched upon this, but how many parking spaces does this take away from the town?
Yep, 3 to 4,
3 to 4.
3 to 4.
Okay.
And you know, there are lots of conversations around that right now. Some specific things to mention, for example, when the Kate opened, everybody was worried that it was going to be chaos. And 16 years later, short of a Wednesday night concert, it hasn't been chaos. And the 31 spots across the street didn't exist when they came around. Sheffield sort of has the lot going into the condos. There's some space there. And you know, I often like to mention that the parking issue is a little more of a perception issue because, for example, we have permission for Porter Plaza and you could park 2 Kates at Porter Plaza. The Porter Plaza is a shorter walk than the closest parking at the Bushnell. It's, you know, just because everybody wants to park directly in front of the Cape. And, you know, shows up way too late because it's small town and it should be easy and, you know, so but zoning we will be going through a lot of those pieces with zoning. There are certain regulations in terms of how many seats to parking spots and we're talking about all those things.
We talked about
3
like,
to 4.
there needs to be another crosswalk towed by Rivermark there because countless times people are crossing the street there and it's like the most dimly lit part of Main Street. Like the lighting needs to continue down a little further south.
Great.
Yeah, they have.
It is something that
Same
is,
street every 10 feet.
I mean, I can't speak for Carl or the town,
We
on that,
have
but I know it
them.
is something
Yeah,
that I've
they're
talked
great.
about, and it should be.
It would make sense if this happens and it would make total sense.
And you don't have to shift,
Yeah.
you don't have to.
Well, we
change
had
the-
one
the
before.
walk, like the walkway, that main walkway right there.
Got taken away.
Goes- That doesn't have. to
From
be
Main Street
changed.
to
That's too many.
Or,
Yes, right, that goes to town hall,
Was
sort of the
more
big one, that
because-
doesn't have to shift the size.
no, it
Or
doesn't
too
change.
many
at all.
now.
Right, yeah,
Okay,
that's good.
Too many spaces in which.
I think it's
police
great,
officers
when
might be
I
used.
love the.
I feel the space upstairs or
I tried to.
during concerts. If you didn't program it, could people go up there and they're away from the for concert up there?
That's a good question. We already have technology in the main space that beams the concerts to all of our offices because we're all frantically working on tomorrow while tonight's concert plays. So
Yeah.
we are putting in systems so that, yes, there is that technology. I hadn't really thought about that. You know, we've done all sorts of things, like we've been an overflow location for, like, there's all, yeah, we've done a lot of things in daytime hours when we have flexibility. So yeah, that could be a potential.
Not that you take away space for the concerts, I mean, I don't really see a lot of people sitting over here for a concert, but.
But, to make this like, we mentioned it in the meeting on Monday, but integrating it a little bit better into the green space, kind of is
Yeah.
a little bit more like it's a shared space.
I mean, just because I love the balcony here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great if you, not that you can put a balcony, I'm just saying.
The other thing to keep in mind is that the tent would still exist and it's not shown in that.
Oh,
rendering.
yeah,
They
yeah.
didn't show it in the rendering because it does block it a little bit.
Sure.
But all winter it wouldn't, but we would continue to use the tent. It's just not shown in that image. And, you know, a lot of people even on concert on the green nights enjoy the shade of it.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
sunny,
That
so.
was one of the things I was kind of getting at. We have a lot of older population that does go to those, and sometimes the sun is tough.
Yeah, it's all. You know, we've always tried to be the best steward of that building as we can. I mean, all the gardens we handle and pay for, you know, the tent goes up and is used by town hall folks for lunch and all sorts of things. Like it's part of the town hall campus, and we just see this as the next chapter of that as we think about the additional folks that we could bring to the Cape. I use the Old Saybrook Historical Society lectures as just an example, but there are people that have only ever been to the Cape in the last 10 years for those lectures. That's something they may want more of, and it allows us to think of more of that type of programming, because we're often always thinking about, okay, we have a 284 seat theater. What is the number that we need to make that theater work? And now with the 90 seat space, we can do more things that are 40, 50, 60 people for a wider population.
Any other comment?
So Brett and I were talking about this earlier. I don't know if the board needs to vote for him to move forward, because he really. He's not in the move forward stage yet, so I think this is more, you know what I mean,
Information.
more informational for
Should
the
do
board,
here.
yeah.
It's because you may have to change things as you go from commission to commission to commission.
Yep.
But this is a great overview for our understanding of what you're trying to do.
Sure.
I don't mean you personally, the Cape organization.
The one thing to consider, we brought it up the meeting, just how it will impact, if this does move forward, it will impact for some period of time, the town drain, because the septic system is underneath the town drain. I can guarantee with the capacity change, it's going to need a significant increase in size. We don't know the size and scope of the current, is there an as-built to where the septic system is located exactly? And
Yeah.
offset from the current expansion of the building, do they have minimum offsets with your potential plan?
In terms of having to move things.
Offset from the building to the septic system, because you have to have a certain offset from the septic system.
We're just beginning that process. We're gonna have to move the D-box probably.
Yeah.
But I think the septic field, and it's a forced main, so it's pumped. That probably won't change.
If it's not an open system, will not change.
What's that?
Because you have different types of septic system, and I believe that one is the one that you pump out. So it's not.
No.
Yeah, it's pumped
Yeah.
out into the leach
Yeah.
field.
It's just a
The
pressurized
field-
system.
The leach
It's not
field,
gravity
the
flow.
leach
No,
field
no,
is
it's
on
not.
the other side, is on the other side of the
Yeah.
sidewalk.
But have they looked at,
We haven't yet.
Okay.
We're
I'm just wondering if that's gonna impact
Early.
that plan for what the size of that building's gonna be.
It's a year start to finish roughly. They are, it has to go to bid, so
Right.
for person who actually.
Yeah, it's on that process.
Either way,
That's
the
the
impact
value.
for us could be, we probably, with sodding and redoing, giving 2 growing seasons, we might not be able to use the town drain for probably a year, maybe 2 seasons.
And was that true of when this happened the first time? Because they were all replaced the first time. I've not heard of that sort of.
When the landed in? No, we had concerts that summer because I was putting them on,
That's
so,
right.
And so
yeah, it didn't affect that at all.
It didn't.
I don't have the exact answer for you around that. I just was asking the question because I know it was all installed the first time we had pictures of it going in. 2000.
And if we have to pivot for a year, we could pivot across the street. We have a green space over there.
Is that sodded or that was planted grass?
That's, both.
There's no irrigation on the green, is there? Oh, there is?
No, there's no irrigation in town. There will be eventually, but not right now.
I think,
Sod has to be
but I
okay.
think for the land we're giving up for what we're getting,
Yeah.
it's like a no brainer to like give up that little bit of space for space that we don't really ever use as a commission, like our
Exactly.
park and rec commission.
I think it
Your
enhances the
program.
whole green, and
It's gonna make it look
if we can
organized.
integrate it a little bit more to some,
Yeah.
like you talked about, like the movie screens and. Integrate it in a little bit more
That's
aesthetically.
nice, and look forward, especially at night, you decorate it for like the holidays,
Yeah.
it's gonna be.
And I know, the things we've thought about, like even the concerts that you folks have on the green, they don't have nowhere to go. Like maybe one of those lower space rooms is sort of that, the green room on those nights where there's at least somewhere to go and throw your stuff. I don't know. There are lots of things that we could talk about because now we have multiple flexible spaces, because even if they're using one half of that room to set a divide, we can still have a meeting on the other half, like the things can still happen. We don't have that space right now.
Right.
So let me just say one thing about timing. We have hired Saybrook architects. Where they're under contract, they're drawing right now. If it goes, the best case, I'll use this as the best case. By probably the fall, we'll have it completely designed, go through all the commissions and have it designed. And perhaps bid out construction by the end of the year. And if we do that, best case, then we could start construction at the end of this year or early next year. So that's our base case now. It may not work that way, but that's our base.
And I can't remember if you said it in the budget, but it was like $10 to $15 million.
Right.
And you were looking for the town's contribution of.
Right.
Ish.
That's part of
That,
that whole.
that'll be in conversation.
With finance,
yeah.
Which is, yeah.
April,
It's
yeah.
still a town-owned building and we'll retain a town-owned building, so partnership on that is over.
The impact of us is what we're trying to do potentially with. Saybrook Point.
Yeah.
Timing is like. Carl did say though that. Getting bonded at the same time for two projects. Is beneficial for the town.
Right.
It's a lot easier.
We've done that
Which they
before.
bonded for Saybrook Point back when they first were doing, when Barbara Maynard did that, but not bonding. So, I mean, it's not like we didn't do it. So we worked for the same properties.
Any other questions? No?
Sure. Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's right, it's on that. Yeah.
I don't have to.
Yeah, I will.
Thank you, Brad.
Thank you.
Brett, thank you.
Nice, Brad.
But what we also have.
Did you want to? Okay.
Use, they have,
Yeah, I'll go with you later.
build land use, they have that often. They're fine.
So- Here, Mr. Russo has, a few minutes. I promised to get him in here.
Mostly correct. Commission, conservation, doing the environment, where we just need. The Department of Ag. Participate.
Oh, okay, Joe, yeah.
Yeah, that's all. You get to talk to Christine or Lynette even. That's-
All right. For the March meeting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
March
okay.
28th, yeah. We talked to you that.
I'll talk to Karen about that tomorrow.
Sounds good.
That is, thank you.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for coming.
Do we get, like, when you open the grand opening, do we get like a special seat?
No, For the record, we are not asking.
You and Mike can have those balconies, it's like outfits.
Oh, Lordy, why don't you just get me into
Thanks,
trouble?
Brett.
man?
Well, I just joke because it's.
Oh, yeah, for the record, that was a joke.
It was.
I didn't even hear.
That's okay.
Get it by the-
We are recorded. I love this life. You guys are great. All right, moving along here. We have Vicky Duffy Pavilion discussion.
So in your packet, I just put in everything that was online. Just so you guys are all aware of all the numbers. I don't know if you saw them or not. Just to have it, that's why that's in there, just two different packs. The very last page, probably numbers you have not seen, just the pavilion usage from 2025. So if people ask you questions for the, in the second, the packet, the other numbers, we'll have to mention. So,
Well, let's wait.
yeah, so obviously, everyone, I don't know if everyone was there the other night. It was what it was. That's all I can say about it, really. I forget wanted to discuss anything else, but
Yeah, so I asked to put this on the agenda because it's a major thing for us and I was there both meetings, felt like, it was divided. The main, concern is just the loss of the pavilion in general. And the usage, but I think, since Ray provided these numbers, just really looking at the actual usage, there isn't, these are all like kind of the programming municipal nonprofits, but is there the personal?
very top. Private functions, 90 for the year.
There's that's private function,
Yep.
total, okay.
So of the, obviously, we only rented out to residents, so only 90 residents. Those two things.
And I think the gentleman who spoke about more people use that collective parking lot on a daily basis than they do year round.
Well, what I didn't think was, sold to this is, yes, we would lose the potential use of a building that's, 4 seasons. And, when we had, our executive sessions talking about, the potential of what a pavilion, an open air pavilion could be, with roll down size, 3 season. Chris Costa said if we build it high enough, we could potentially have heat in there. Potential if we build it high enough. But that's a really good venue space. I mean, if for anybody, I mean, certainly people that are having private functions there that want the full, out of the 3 seasons, because, you're really not getting the amenity of the Vicky Duffy Pavilion right now in January or February. But when you're out there in June, wouldn't it be fantastic to see, have the ability to have an open green space with a open air pavilion rented, with this, beautiful park in front of you and then boardwalk and everything interconnected. I don't think that was really sold at that.
I would almost lean away from renting the pavilion, because in my mind, the whole point of having this town on green spaces, everyone can go down there and enjoy it. If there's an open Adirondack chair in the pavilion, I want to sit there. I don't want to be like, oh, that's rented by this person this day. Like, I think it should be open for everyone to enjoy, and I think a lot more than 90 people would enjoy it on a daily basis.
See, I would think, we could probably integrate some other features, especially within gardeners with all the trees, to have more picnic space if you want to sit in a covered area. But having the ability to rent a space down there that
Reserve,
would
maybe reserve is a better word.
reserve.
For a portion of the
Much like we
space.
do with other spaces in town that we rent. I think the cell is better to do that, because then you have a designated space in town that you could have a considerable, beautiful outside amenity. To rent. If you want to go down there and picnic or go down with your kids, I think, eat an 80-person with, 50 other people in there, you can have a small space, maybe integrated into gardeners where we can have some covered areas where you could sit.
I think it's hard for us though to like present that as a commission this early on in this like. I understand your point of view, like presenting an option, because like Oyster River was a nice idea, or coming up with like estuary spaces and a good idea. I think we have to roll with spaces that we have to present to them, because we don't have a budget, we don't have a design other than strategic plans that they originally did years ago. I think it's a hard sell. It's questions I've been asked is like, okay, do you guys have a plan? I'm like, don't we have a strategic plan? We don't, I mean, but we just feel as open space, that's the acquisition that we support unanimously as a commission. I think it's hard to like tell someone who's taking yoga class on Thursday mornings and they're looking at the beautiful river and, taking their class for $75 that, they're gonna be in an open air roll down the window, like,
You're not
thing, like,
paying
it's-
attention to outdoor space when you're doing yoga.
like, I
But-
feel like those
Choose
are
the best
people that,
way
like,
that-
I've run into who are it voices, so I see that, I understand that, and I just
I
feel like
agree
we have
with
to
you.
promote what we.
I agree with you, like it, unfortunately, people are too caught up in, well, what's it gonna cost to make that a park,
Yeah.
and what's on the table is a land swap.
Yeah, that's
And
it. That's
we
what
want
should
more
sort of
open
like-
space, and we want a
Yeah.
contiguous piece of land that's down there that we fully own, that we can do anything with. We don't have to do it this year, we don't have to do it next year.
And that's where.
This could be a long-term plan that we integrate into the strategic plan, but people are really caught up in the cost, losing Vicky Duffy Pavilion, the septic. A lot of questions that could be very easily answered, with a plan. But we have, what's on the table is,
We have a strategic plan.
We
And it
do.
outlines what we wanted years ago, we spent $50,000 getting. So that's my
Right.
point, is just use what we've got. And like, be careful that we don't cross like the line with it and just support this and like, and maybe like, so like what his presentation, Brett. He even said, there's the potential for space to house different events that he is obviously willing to be very open with this board about potentially using. Everyone I've run into, different age group populations, that's the hiccup. But it's like, I feel like we have to defer this and be like, what do we have to use? What do we have to offer? What's the space we can do? We just don't have a plan and we have so much on our plate right now. And it's like, I hate, I don't want to say that we're going to present another plan, and Carl had some rendering. That's I understand the purpose of that for his presentation, but I hesitate to be, as a commission, dedicated to making a point specific like that. I think it would hurt potentially.
but just creating an idea of what it could be. Sells the concept to somebody with their concerns of, like, one of the concerns could be, and I have the concern of the language in the document with Kadama. Is, and I mentioned this in some of our other previous meetings, like that space in that park, I would love to have a designated area for residents, a pass. Because one of the concerns is, well, anybody can come and use this park. And if I want to go down there with my family, it's gonna be all taken from people that out of town, and space that's used. But we could say, we could have a designated certain amount of spaces, like we do for any of our beaches, right? Like a beach pass kind of thing. But in the language that Carl has with Kadama gets full usage of any parking over there.
Right, but that sales media, that contract is between the town lawyer and that. I don't know, I feel as a commission, we have to be, my perspective is. And with the history of this commission and how things work, it's best to sort of just, work what we've got and then, present the idea of passive space and, an alternative. What do we have to present now for alternative space for these 90 people that booked us, for these programs that are currently active? You know what I mean? Like, what would we suggest immediately if Darren got a call and was like, where's this gonna go? Where's yoga gonna go? And I love her class. So I would be one who would ask that, as wearing two hats, like a commissioner and a that's.
Well, we all wear those two hats and rightfully
like.
so. I think in the beginning, from my years of history going through all this stuff, the argument of getting the pavilion and changing it from this sandbar to the pavilion was that the town needed a place for town residents, town organizations, town functions to meet. And in conversations with people in our town, it's like, we're gonna put that up. We're not gonna be able to have a place to go. And the truth is, there is no room at the town hall. And you can't utilize, or at this time, can't utilize the Acton Library, they close at 8 o'clock. So where do residents go? Where is it a responsibility of us as a commission? Because we took on this responsibility of having the pavilion and offering it out to organizations and personnel and anniversaries and birthdays and all that for money making, but we also offer it out to our own organizations in our town to meet. You weigh that on one side, it's very heavy because that was one of the reasons that the town actually voted to get that property. All right, and then you weigh it out too. We haven't, I can't be diplomatic about this. It's an eyesore on the other side of Minico. And it's gonna get worse and worse and worse with nothing happening. And we have this unique opportunity because it's a huge multi-million dollar piece of property of obtaining it. And what we do with it after we obtain it, we can figure that one out. Would we like to have kind of like a vision to be able to guide the towns to go to it? Yes, but is it necessary at this point? No, but it is necessary to have the residents understand that we know we're giving up this precious little piece here for our town, but we're getting this over here. And it's really important because it connects three of our opportunities. It connects our mini golf, it connects Lion Gardner, and it connects the Fort Monument area. And we hope to have a trail going through that to do that. So we're at this, we're even here, we're at this kind of yin yang right now. How do we want to do this? I think we have agreed we need that property. It is never going to come back again if we don't do this. And we've already experienced not being able to get a piece of property that we. So now we have to learn how to sell the importance of obtaining this property and understanding the sensitivity of the reason why we got the pavilion, and the reason why it was designed the way it is because the town needed a meeting place. We have to come to grips with that. So as a commission, how do you want to do that? Star is right, we need to go here. Star is right in saying we had a strategic plan that included the Dockendon, the former Dockendon. And do we still want to continue? So I don't think it's a question of the commission. We've already established ourselves. This is important. We should go ahead with that. But I think we need to establish ourselves as saying, in order to go ahead with this, we have to be sensitive to the fact that, yes, we're losing this building, we're losing the opportunity of our own organizations, our own nonprofits, our own commissions to be able to meet there. We know that. But this is a greater advantage.
And at this point, we have our date for a vote established, like in my mind. Leave it up to the people, we presented our case, let's see what happens. If we get the property, then
It's gonna get.
yeah.
We can't go back to the same thing. But we have to understand that, in our responses, be sensitive to the fact that many of these people that we're talking to, they were there during the fight to get that property. And the argument there was because we, the people, the residents, could use it.
I get frustrated though, because I feel like a lot of those people aren't listening to younger residents who are like, we want green space. This is an amazing piece of property. This is an amazing opportunity. We're gaining something.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I just get stuff now.
But also the facts, I've run into people who are like, oh geez, it's not fair, we're only charging them $1 a year and we have to buy this property for 2 million, I'm like. We're not
They're
buying
just not
anything.
looking,
Right, they're not-
everything's online now.
Yeah.
Like, that's not our responsibility to guide them to look something that's on the internet.
I really can't.
You cannot, yeah.
But how many times have you been on Facebook or anywhere where people are like, we want the sandbar back, we want the food truck back, we want this back? It's like, we can't have both ways, but we can get the sandbar back. We can get a restaurant down there that will have similar food and have green space where people can enjoy it. It's like, and walk
And what?
and, I don't know.
So it's just, in my opinion, you can't answer one way without acknowledging the old, thing. I understand what.
But I look at this number, 90 functions, that's it.
It's only so many weekends.
And- Right,
Yeah.
but that's not, and then are these municipalities, are they paying to rent the space or are they just letting them use it for free?
We don't charge for spells.
So, so that's like, so it's,
I mean, when you look at it for dollars and
For
cents.
dollars, it's,
Yeah,
what, $5,000 a year is what it generates.
So,
But
But it was never
It
meant
was
to
a little
be-
bit of an even.
I mean, our budget for the pavilion is 18.5, we made around 21 last year.
Yeah.
So it's a very little launch.
yeah,
We're not looking to make money on it.
and the argument was never to make money.
Yeah.
For that thing. So, I mean, I'm just saying that, you know, in our own mindset, we just have to make sure that we understand what we're giving up and state what we're giving up, saying we know that, but this is a far better advantage for the town. And looking forward to never going to get this property ever down on the river. On the river.
At this point in time, it's up to the town.
Right now,
Yeah.
now we just, yep.
So. All right, any other discussion that you want on this? Nope, okay, town trails discussion?
So last piece in your packet there is, just want to give you an update where I've been going with Kathy Connolly and myself have been working on a stewardship plan for all our trails. And this is essentially the paperwork that I've come up with of how to adopt a trail. And there was an email that we sent out the last couple of weeks. We've created a new email. We're in constant contact now, and we have a new email address, open space, old Saybrook. You can email, and if you go to those, you can fill out a form if you're interested in participating in this and sponsoring a trail, and you can kind of see how it laid out. We have a meeting tomorrow night just to show just get some more progress of where we're at with it for some people that have signed up and kind of get them out there and going. So eventually, you know, when we get the preserved property online, well, it's online, but when we really get it online with a public use plan, that's going to be coming up. You know, we want our trails clean, very active, because they're going to all go into the preserve eventually. So we haven't really had a great stewardship within our trails in the last 10, 12 years. We had a group years ago and they've kind of phased themselves out as life goes on, people get older. And so we needed to re-up this, and we have a lot of trails. We have a lot of open space. If you include the preserve, we're around 1,500 acres, and that's a lot of space that, you know, a public works department cannot take care of. You need people out on the ground, out there doing things, taking care of things. So this is kind of where we're going with it, and so far so good. We've had some good feedback on it, and some people have signed up, and I know more people are going to sign up for it. And basically, we were looking for reporting. It's not, if you signed up for, you know, section C in town park, it's not like you need to go out there every day and cut something back. You go out for a walk, you check it out every 2 months. Hey, this is growing, or we had a tree down, or something. There's a widowmaker there. Can you do something about it? It's not like you're doing the work. It's more or less getting out there. So there's more people reporting back on what's going on. So that's kind of where we're at with the town trails discussion. That's all I wanted to keep you guys up to date what we're doing. So people do ask, there'll be more to come on this going forward.
Meetings tomorrow night.
Yes, 6 o'clock.
Here.
Yeah, right. 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
6 o'clock.
Yeah, okay, moving along to the recreation programming discussion.
So last month you asked, where's Taryn? I brought her along. So Taryn, the floor is yours.
So,
Welcome, my dear.
thanks for having me. So yeah, winter programs have been running and will continue to run until the end of March. I just did a couple from each kind of section, so to give you guys updates. So preschool right now has some science running on Saturdays, and that's full at 13. The next go around will be Little Builders, and that's already full at 13. Rory Panan does that. She's been doing a really, really nice job with those. The Saturday programs have been successful. We tried back in the fall to do some stuff during the week, and it just didn't really take. I think due to that is because Goodwin has all day preschool, which is great. But we are gonna try to do a couple other little things just again to put it out there come the fall as an option for some kids during the week. But the Saturdays have been very, very consistent with that. The Goodwin programs have been consistent. I just had color by number today. Startup, that was full at 14. After school basketball will be my next one. That's full at 12 with 16 on the wait list. So there's a need for that. So I made note of that so we can add 2 sessions in next time or add it in the fall or more. So there's definitely more interest in that. So I made note of that. But the good ones I was saying, right, good ones have always been pretty successful and consistent as far as filling up. They're right there after school, 45 minutes to an hour. So those ones are always nice and consistent. The 5th to 8th grade programs, we don't have anything currently running right now other than the after school teen center. And I have brought this up to Ray before. I feel like over the year it's kind of dwindled a little, getting kids to actually sign up to play kickball or actually sign up to play flag football. And I think it does depend on what sport is going on. You know, basketball right now, the numbers are low and there's ski club. But I think trying to spark the interest with that to say, hey, you're going to come every Tuesday to the rec and play kickball is hard sometimes. And I think the frustrating part is you'll get some kids sign up and then they just don't ever show. So you'll choose to run the program because we have the numbers, and then only 3 kids show up every week. So now that we have Casey in here, it's definitely on my list to come fall to try to come up with something different. Ray and I had talked about doing like more pop-up programs. So Tuesday on this day, it's going to be kickball or do a tournament kind of style to get them in here, but it's not necessarily a 5-week commitment, but it's more just getting the kids together, come on over here for an afternoon activity. But as far as the teen center, that has been going, you know, as well as kids in and out, and on Friday nights. We'll have February break next week, so just Monday and Tuesday, and that's that we have 18 kids enrolled for those 2 days. So I thought that was good for, you know, just for 2 quick days in there, and that'll be 9 to 4 in here. And then basketball is going on, so we're in week 6 of youth basketball. We have 8 teams. I added in first grade this year. Ray had said I asked him about that, if they ever had first graders before, and they did, but not for a while. And I just found that last year, the older kids aren't playing rec basketball. They're doing travel and middle school. So why not get the younger kids to go, because they seem eager to want to play. So we did first grade, first and second grade, and I got a lot of good feedback from parents just saying thank you for adding that in for them. So that seems to be going well. And then we're in week 2 of adult kickball. That's in there tonight. So there's 7 teams for that, which is the same as last year as well. So everything will wrap up at the end of March, and I'm working on the spring summer brochure. So my goal is to have that done by the beginning of March, and then we'll have registration April 1st for that to go out. I don't know if there's anything you guys specifically are looking for, anything you think should be added to the programs. Let me know. What's that?
Kids golf.
Yeah, talking to Josh. So we're gonna do it in the spring and the fall. They can't do it I shouldn't say, he said this summer it's really hard because prime time and the members at Benwick, but we're gonna do it in the spring. We're gonna offer one during the week and then one on Saturdays. So kind of very similar how we do the adult one. So that is gonna be added this year. So that will be new. And then we'll do it again in the fall too. And then hopefully we'll just keep that pattern going, because the adult lessons fill up so fast. And last year we just didn't get the juniors to work, but yeah, today he confirmed that for me. So
Amazing.
yeah, that'll be added. So that'll be nice.
And just FYI, I heard today, and I don't know if it's gonna stick, but that they're not gonna do enrichment camp.
I heard that today too.
Yeah.
So you guys. Yeah. I do it all. Yeah.
I'm not sure how that'll affect us. I know it will affect us in a positive way.
Yeah, you're gonna be.
We're gonna have a lot of things.
That's what I was wondering, if there's any way that we could hire on some extra, even if you do just find a pool, like a Lego or magnetic, you know, something for little kids to do. I don't know if there's a way to add like an enrichment to.
Literally found out about 2:00 this afternoon. So we thought too much about it.
So I don't know if he's gonna step.
I don't wanna go too far if it's gonna get reversed and people fighting about it, but
Yeah.
as far as like if we had to increase our camp, that's tough because of bus numbers. We can certainly increase our staff, but it doesn't help us when we need to go to the beach, and then we have to get another bus, and then, you know.
Well,
are
I
you
was thinking
pushing it
more
to
like
25?
that,
You gotta
more like an enrichment, like what they do. They just come and they do.
Yeah.
Right. Taking them to the
Right.
beach.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a half a day thing.
Yeah.
right.
I don't know, I haven't really wrapped my mind
What
around.
you would pay the counselor, they're paying like teacher substitute rate, which is like $80 to $90
I know.
an hour or something ridiculous.
It's just
So,
that, and it's also about space. So
Yeah.
we're housed with our
There we go. the
100
cake,
kids.
right?
You know, yeah, we literally have our 100 kids in here on
Yeah.
a daily basis, so the classrooms are all taken, so where would we have this extra class? So that's another issue too. We'll see where it goes at this point in time. I don't know what we're gonna do. Whether we increase some smaller kids' classes, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
Literally something.
and I know you're gonna get hit with a lot of people wondering because
Mhm.
the hot button.
Well, it's gonna be a big gap.
Especially
in
when
the
the
need.
Board of Ed budget wants to go up by like 6% or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So good
there's
luck.
something we'll be talking about for sure.
Good luck.
Yeah, that's all I had. I don't know if anybody else had anything.
Nope, but glad you came. Thank
Do
you
see an
very much.
increase- Well, do you see an increase in the kids like now in the teen center, now that basketball's ending at the middle school? And then they have this break now to like the beginning of April when there's.
We haven't yet, like especially because track is huge too, so, and then Thursdays is ski club, so it's like. There's just so much movement, but yeah, then it'll come
They're gonna
through.
ramp up.
Yeah, then they get all amped
There
up
we
and
go.
then it clears out,
Yeah.
it clears out again, so there's like definitely, high lows with things, going on, but. Other than that, I think the numbers have been pretty consistent
They're very
in here, and, we added, so the fifth graders could come and. Yeah, I think, there's consistently the same amount of, same fifth graders that come, I don't think it has been a huge, jump or overturn or overwhelming year after school, but there's definitely that, 10 of them that are consistently coming, which is nice.
I think the fifth grade move was fine.
Yeah, it didn't,
I think truthfully, I think some of the sixth, seventh grade were mad about it, but. Other than that, it hasn't really done too much, yeah.
I'm like, you go to school with them, what is-
It hasn't.
Yeah, it hasn't, nothing crazy.
I can see that we have great relationship with the middle school and elementary school. Is there any way, because this is what I was asked by the high schoolers, is there any way to find them a spot for like after school place that they can hang out? Not all of them, they have cars.
Yeah.
And they don't have place to they miss this.
So,
Because they
That's-
loved this when they were in middle school.
absolutely.
Then,
So it's been an ongoing, I wouldn't even say problem, issue, whatever. We've tried and tried and tried with high schoolers, and you might have a consistent 2 weeks where they show up. And then it just falls right off, no matter what it was. We used to have high school nights, we used to do Saturday nights in here for high schoolers. And we tried it for 2 years. And one Saturday night you'd have like 15 kids, and the other Saturday night you'd have one. And you're like, you can't pay staff to be around for one kid, so it's just the consistency of the high schoolers to get them to go there every day. Is really the issue, and what do they like, there's always. There's a fact going on, there used to be a group of kids that were very active with soccer and basketball, they love coming in, and we offer that for them. And then that bubble kind of went away, and then no one would show up. It's been tough, we can certainly try some more high school programming. I know, it's getting them here is really the issue,
We did try that, with youth and family to do a movie night and, Brittany and them in the schools, like, like, we wanna do a movie night at the teen center, like pizza movie. So the kids went to her and they wanted that, so we picked the date, we set it up, I did a flyer, the whole thing, and then one kid signed up. So we canceled it, so. And it could have just been, oh, that Saturday, something was going on, it was around Halloween, in October sometime, but I was really excited to collaborate with them and be like, all right, they're asking for it, let's bring it together. I love working with youth and family, and Brittany was really disappointed because the kid
Oh,
asked like,
energy.
let's do this, and then it was like, one kid said up and something else happened that night, something was better, so
I wouldn't say.
we did try it.
no.
But we are gonna try again.
It's just, it seems like every time we've tried
The
to.
pop-ups might be good.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking like, I can't change his mind every time.
Right.
Like.
Right.
what?
And then like, I think
What
something
happened?
else
Told
was
me
going
this,
on that
So
night,
maybe
so.
pop-ups would be like, hey, it's night at the rec,
Yep.
you know?
We could try a monthly thing. once a month, try
Yeah, I, it's hard, I. sympathize
It's always
with
been a
that.
lack of programming ever since I started here. A lot of years ago.
The Y has a big thing. There's a period of time where my son went to the Y night. It was a Friday or Saturday night and they opened everything up and that did sort of.
We used to have
Yeah,
high
it's
school
pretty
nights, we
cool.
used to call it open coffee house night at the pavilion.
Yeah.
We had an old big TV down there, and we have people, kids would come and play guitar and do different things, and that was great for 3 months, and then that went, shoot, and they just didn't wanna do it any longer, you know, something else was going on.
Totally.
Yeah, that was years and years ago. But we can certainly try.
Moving on to any other business regarding programs, facilities, personnel. Moving on to old business, all parks review.
It's snowing.
They have snow on the ground. I will say, in my limited ability to get around, there were a lot of snowshoe tracks this year.
I did have some people say that to me they were snowshoeing.
Yep, and I was one of them, by the way.
I'd like to publicly thank Mr. Lemire for leaving all the ads off at disc golf players.
Oh, yes, I meant to do that too. I was going to.
Momentous occasion. So all of our guys go play their disc golf, their back breaking work. So. it's cool. Yeah. I was agreed.
You use the blower. I use my dad. does.
No.
Yeah, I use the blower.
That's fine.
The best. Oh, yeah,
Was the last?
You can't go really.
Laying the path wasn't hard.
You're right.
Like,
Oh.
all the way.
All right.
Were the people out there when you were doing it?
No,
No,
after
you got it.
go out there now, there's like pathways.
Okay. People are
Yeah.
just there. Okay. So it's being used even for the whole other.
Yeah, we
Started out little cross-country skis and then the snow.
There was a guy out there playing in snowshoes.
Yep.
So he took them off. It was a little bit more difficult. with
I get some
snowshoes.
video and post it on our Facebook page.
I didn't even think of that. I had my snowshoes on and they were out, this guy was out trying to do disc golf in his snowshoes and I thought, okay,
Yeah. well,
I wouldn't have thought of that, but that's okay. And then evidently you cleared off the that. Well, thank you, Bob, for doing that. I appreciate it. And I'm sure everyone who was there too. Strategic plan?
Apparently I got this afternoon from our town engineer. They've completed the study in the pavilion. I can send it out to everyone. I literally got this afternoon. So that step is completed in their process for the town park. I've really gone into in depth in this, but apparently it's in good condition. Foundationally wise. So that's a good thing.
Yeah. Good.
So,
Great.
Yeah, so they're moving along on that, and I will say that the Ferry Road project did not go out to bid yet. We did have one change we had to make, regarding the position of the shed that was gonna be there. And then the bathroom's gonna move towards it too, so they had to do a little bit more onto that, engineering wise, so, hopefully by the end of the month it'll go out.
I did skip one, Harvey's Beach discussion. Okay, we're okay with the vendors and anything that needs to be updated.
It's all online, it's been advertised, so we haven't gotten any responses that I know.
To bring up one thing, it was brought to my attention that we don't have vendor applicants do background checks where we do for all our town employees, all our coaches. And because they're in close proximity to teenage staff, a big beach population, like, isn't that something we should do? I feel like everyone would get a background check nowadays, correct?
Well, they're not our employee.
But aren't they a town?
True, but they're on.
They're a contract, aren't they?
That's a great.
They're contracted through the town, so yeah, the town handbook requires all employees to get background checks, so
But
I think there's a little bit of gray area there. I'd have
Yeah.
to find out.
because they're paying us to, yeah.
Now, I guess the other question then would be. You have to background check all the employees, not just one particular employee, I assume.
But I don't see any problem with that.
I don't either,
Yeah.
Beth, I really don't, I just gotta find the gray area if it's legally, we have the ability to do that, cause they're.
technically they're an employee of the subcontractor that we
Yeah,
have.
I think we just have to find out. Get a
Yeah.
ruling from the town council if that's the case.
Yeah.
I don't see, that's not hard to do, to find that out, so.
That would be
It would have to be
something
in
in the
I
contract
was
that
just
we
gonna say, it has
It would be
to.
a contract.
require a background check of
The owner.
owner in any
And
sense.
that's fine, because that's a contract with whoever we hire.
But that contract's going on soon.
That, we have that for our coaching staff, we just,
Your
we
coach
only,
staff.
right, we did it.
Coaches do.
That's,
That's-
we only did that in our.
That's like more of a state law that coach.
We didn't do it for a while, there was something we were like.
Do it for a while,
Anyways,
but we stopped doing it because it got a little expensive, and then,
There it is.
for a while, this is a while ago.
I was like, yeah,
It's cost, yeah,
yeah,
no,
no, that
we
makes.
do it
total-
now, but.
Right, yeah, that's what.
When does that document go out? That's already out.
March
Or vendor?
6th is the vendor application, so. Maybe, something I can find out, something. Okay. I'll get an answer to you guys though, sure, but whether we legally can or not.
And if we do, then that will be on the contract, but
Well, they'd go through our background check company that we have, and. I mean, what is it, $20?
It's $20 per percent.
okay. Nothing new on the kayak rack discussion. Preserve update?
There is an update for the preserve, and I'll
Ooh,
try to go through this somewhat quickly. The forest management plan is signed, which opens up a lot of doors for the preserve. Which means we can start on the public use plan, which means the trails will be designed. Public uses for the property, so on and so forth. That's a good thing, because it's been 8 or 9 years and we've been waiting to try to do this. The next phase of it will be lots of meetings with the state and with a committee that will be forming, which will have myself on it, which will represent the town. It will have a ad hoc committee member on it. It will have 3 members of DEP and hopefully Essex Land Trust member and a member of the public at large. So we'll be working on that, and then there'll be lots of meetings of gathering all the data of where trails should not go, where they can go, where they can't go. Uses, whether it's equestrian, mountain bike, snowshoeing, running, everything under the sun where we're gonna do these and how these trails will be designed. And that'll be a big process, and then whether or not this whole plan will go out to a contractor to design it. So. The preserve will have lots of work going on it in the next year, which also includes for part of the forest management plan, working on some silviculture within. The 26 tracks that have been designated to be worked on. And the first one will be stand number 10, which is located centrally in the preserve. And there'll be another plan that comes out specifically for stand 10 of what they're gonna do with that. Cutting of trees, harvesting of trees. And all the things that go along with it. Along with all that will be. When hunting will officially start within the preserve as well. So there's gonna be a lot of things going on in the preserve. That I'm sure you guys will all get questions on, which I'll keep you up to date as much as I can, but it's taken me. 10-12 years to really learn everything, so I can't imagine that you can learn everything in the next 2 months, so. Sue's been a part of it for a long time, being on the ad hoc committee, and she'll tell you there's lots of layers. And it's tough, it's been tough, it's been a slog to work with the state, hopefully our relationship. And our ease of work gets better with this public use plan, because it was very tough within the forest management plan. But I'm eager to get this going, because it needs to get going. The preserve has over 30 miles of trails in it right now. And you can see the map of it in this last map. Now, you can see the trails that are officially on there right now. There's an interim trails, it's red, the blue, the white, blue, and this yellow. That accompanies about 3 miles of trails. And there's 30 miles within here that are unsanctioned trails that we need to get rid of, reconfigure, so on and so forth. So there's a lot to do in reserve. And we'll make it better.
So with this trail system, we have a subcommittee working with the CMC that works with the state. And we're gonna be looking at what trails we're gonna put aside. We're just going to say they're under reforestation, they're not to be used. We have to redirect them away from sensitive vertical areas and other sensitive areas. As Ray was saying, there's a lot of levels to this. We have an acoustic survey going on
That survey.
for bats. And a unique thing, it's not just bats, I mean, basically it's for bats, but they have found when they do this acoustic survey, there are other migratory birds that they could, they'll use this part of the preserve. And this will help establish that, but that's from my Audubon work from the other organizations, but we found out about that. And then we have, of course, the turtle survey. So there are lots of things that we have to do. So it is very slow in progress, but the best thing that can happen is that we finally got the state to look at this, sign off on the forest management plan, or public use plan. Number one thing is we want the trail system up. And we're really working to get that going. The state wants to do some logging. They just want to do it, but there's several layers to that. It just doesn't happen, okay, we're gonna go in on November 1st and do logging. They have to have a internal natural resource survey. They have to have the soil survey. They have so many things before, and then it has to go to public hearings. So I don't want you to think that, or have our own residents think that, okay, this is gonna happen, the state's gonna decide the next quarter, they're gonna do logging. It doesn't happen that fast. But they are looking at stand 10 because it is the most usable tree and lumber that they could use. All right, moving on. Other business regarding programs, facilities, and personnel? Yeah, that will move it along.
Where's the dog park left off? Did that just get busy?
Okay,
We don't have a plan for it right now.
Oh.
Essentially, I mean, it's in the budget presentation, it's in the long-term strategic plan, I mean, that's what she said. Capital projects that I have in that, Board of Finance knows about it, we simply don't have a space for it.
So I have one comment too. It was regarding that little piece of property off of Bingham Hill, that not the one on the corner, but the one where we could potentially drop kayaks from.
Mhm.
It was brought to my attention that the owner of that land has approached somebody about maybe the town leasing part of that area, giving Park and Rec an easement to be able to go down there so we can have access to the river.
Building next door.
No, we're talking about the one off it. I mean, you go up Bingham Hill from McDonald's.
Yeah.
Before, as you get past the high school,
Oh,
that property
the
to the
large
right
one.
that goes down into the river, so that the town basically.
Is that with the land trust have?
I don't know, but I just, it's
It's
probably
for
on,
sale.
it's for sale, it's what's for sale. But anyway, that's just a side note. But then Jack sent me some mock-ups of, I know we talked about swag. So he did a couple of variations, so this is what it could look like maybe for a hat. It says Town Beach, the old Saybrook. So that was one, and then Town Beach, he did a really cool logo. With like the chair, great. And it has like the established year, so it's like a logo that could possibly go on a t-shirt. I think it's pretty cool. He did one for mini golf. He's got nothing better to do. He did a hat. Like working on his master's degree, but he did this for mini golf, Saber Point mini golf. It's got like the little lighthouse and the little golf clubs. And like a couple of the things that are on the course. So he came up with that kind of concept. And then he did a hat for that one too, similar, and then Town Beach. Did I show you the Town Beach logo? Did I show you that one?
Yeah,
For
So
chair.
you're going for Harvey's?
So we're doing Harvey's. Harvey's is the first one. He has the hat and then the logo. So this one he did cool like a
Oh,
sunset
that's cute. Yeah.
with like the water and then the
Since
sun
you've been
setting.
director, have you ever sold t-shirts or anything?
We had really the ability at Harvey's and mini golf we never did,
Never?
it wasn't really the commission.
So I think it's-
So that stuff.
So these are just things he came up with that
Never.
he thought would look cool, like on shirts, and then
Like we
he did it with like the old Saybrook on it, and he did a Harvey's Beach hat. Also similar. It's the same exact hat, which is from Harvey's Beach. Established, you said 1963?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what's on there. So it could be a similar hat, but and people could buy them at the,
At least now at Harvey's, we have the ability to store them
right,
somewhat, store them there.
yeah,
And certainly sell them out booth, where before we just didn't have that
Yeah.
ability.
Right.
I
So
feel like those would sell.
because the
Yeah,
mini,
the mini golf
because the
too.
mini golf,
It's always is, but-
you know,
certainly room in big golf to do it too. so.
Cause everyone has the Saybrook
yeah,
stickers.
it's just like, you know, just having like the cool hat, like Saybrook, mini golf, I don't know. So
Easily done.
he's open the suggestions. I can email this to the group. He sent it to me.
Well, I hope he's on the suggestions.
It'd be good to keep the lighthouse somehow, you know,
Mhm.
our,
Yeah. And
the
that's what I
park and
think.
rec, what
Yeah,
we just
a
put
lot
out
of people
every
actually like
time.
the design of the mini golf shirt down there, and
Yeah.
they've always asked to buy that.
And he's like, I had an
Yeah,
idea,
the
people
lighthouse
always
is good.
ask to buy the balls.
Kind of,
Yeah,
If you have like a little golf ball with Saber Point mini golf or something on it that had like a stamp on it, people would probably buy it. I don't know.
or like that
Okay, the
LED.
beach
Town
one,
one, yeah,
town beach
that's
one.
adorable.
Yeah.
yeah, if you email us, some of those, and I
Yeah.
think Jerry will probably be some of those for the record.
Yeah, I did like the O with like the light preserver.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's pretty good.
We just got nothing better to do.
Yeah, well,
But this is what a college education gets you, but, yeah. That was just using Canva, we just came up with that and just. But, yeah, so I can forward that to you guys,
all right.
and then anyway. We could discuss it later if you want us to. Tweak it, or if you wanna like,
Yeah,
come up with a couple samples, or I don't know how
Apples would be better off to,
to show what it looks like on a shirt,
the screen printed or embroidered hats are different than
yeah,
shirts, obviously, so.
Yeah.
The company that I use for our hats, we have some embroidered hats that came out okay. But yeah, I mean, they're easy.
cause Cosmo, who was here before, runs a company.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he's one that we use. Okay. But I could also, if you want me to look into that.
He has a company in town?
I think it's in six. So. Yeah. I can find out, but I can, if you want me to like look at some pricing and see what like. What it might cost, you wanna go like,
No, I mean, that'd be on me, to
Okay.
cost of it, it's just. There's also, you know, screen printing costs, if you have different shirts, you gotta do the screen print for everyone.
Yeah.
So,
cause he gave me
There's
the
other-
transparent, there's a good transparent one too, depending on like if you want the color.
Yeah.
Like.
It also depends on the color, the shirt and what you do and what.
That's what, yeah, like
Colors.
if you do a black shirt or.
There's
if
a,
you
there's a
look at
lot that
me,
goes
shirt,
into it to
yeah.
figure out your price point.
One color.
That's why, I feel like.
It's expensive.
That's green, you know, you only have blue.
I like it, it's like little saber
Yeah.
colors and it's like
Right.
peachy and, but yeah, so that's all
I went to the Board of Finance meeting, I just want to say Ray presented the budget. We were there, there was a whole group, it was super packed, and then they all left there for the library, and then we were like. Here, but Ray did a fantastic job, so
Thanks.
I want to thank you, it was great, and it was a great reception from Board of Finance, and they did bring up the dog park, which was interesting. And Carl had a comment, he said about that he had some pushback from town, from the Main Street, where we talked about Main Street over here, some significant pushback. On that, and residents specifically, so he was just, he really, someone else asked that, you know, on the Board of Finance, that probably wasn't. This little place, significant pushback, so we as a commission meeting, keeping our other options open. I still think
He's got his,
Collins is a
he's
great
got his
area.
ears up there too. for the piece of property.
Right, yeah.
It's on the radar.
It's on the radar and they were, so I thought that all the things that, you know, that they brought up, that was it. But great job. Bravo.
And nobody asked about the water bill, the splash pad.
No.
No,
Nobody asked.
nope.
No, he's off the board.
Yep.
Yeah. That was. He still asks.
Well,
Anyway. Smolten.
Yeah,
No,
over and over in this regard.
see, you do not need to know to our new commissioners, that's past history. For chairman's report, I just want to thank you all for stepping in and helping me out while I was indisposed and going to the meetings that I wasn't able to go to. So I really do appreciate that. And
Glad you're on the bench.
can't say more about our vice chair who stepped up and did a lot of communication while I was, again, indisposed. So thank you for that. Director's report? Today he goes. And our liaison report with Mr. Russo, who came in earlier, he had to leave for another meeting, so make sure that we understand that it's March 28th. For the overall night.
So what
I'm
was it
gonna
looking
listen to
for?
that.
See if we're gonna do have faith.
Yeah,
I think he means.
Like table, like what advertising park racket?
So that particular event, they have different environmental, different things going on. And you want to know if we're gonna have a table there to promote some of our trails.
probably
Oh, I
our
see.
trails or
Okay.
our parks here
All right,
along those lines.
the disc golf stuff?
Could be that too.
Yeah.
Yep. Anything outdoors that can do anything. I usually leave this for a moment in case the commissioner has a thought, want to bring something up and discuss anything. Yes, ma'am.
No discussing, but how are they publicizing beyond what they've already done, the March 31st over? Just putting out signs.
Because you can't take a side either way.
Yes, no, absolutely.
So it's just out there.
Okay, 'cause I was thinking I was gonna like literally text people. and email
Yeah,
them,
you
and
can
just,
text
like,
them, you can Facebook, I mean.
Yeah,
As commissioners, you can say a reminder, this is coming up, it's very
Yeah.
important for the town, please don't,
because
this.
so many people have asked
And
me.
I have done that in the past.
Yeah.
On all 7 different Saybrook sites.
There are also absentee ballots available. If they're not in town, they can call the.
That's great. I feel like that hasn't been public,
No, that.
The link, so I read it.
because so many people.
It's on the link.
That was
Yeah.
real property and that you can vote and you can ask for an absentee ballot. And it said, and it gave her email address to write
I
it.
got our
Yeah.
college students
That's
that
great.
are young that.
Yeah, so if they own anything.
Or all the snowbirds.
Yeah.
I thought that was in, yeah, they specifically said that part, that was those real property. I didn't know that was a part of it.
Yeah,
So I learned something.
in my lifetime, that's a fairly new issue.
Is it?
Yeah,
I was like, I love that.
and they didn't want anybody owning $100 car.
Right.
Anyway, I know that was recorded, so sorry. All right, I'm gonna adjourn, a
I'll make
motion to
to
adjourn.
adjourn.
All
I'll
right,
second it.
second, yeah,